everyone, good morning and welcome to It's Not Just Magic. I'm your host, Cassandra Clayton, and this morning we have with us Elvira Hopper. So Elvira, I'm so excited to have you on the show today. How are you doing? How are things on your end?
I'm doing great, and I just love your intro, and Katy Perry's one of my favorites, and that's one of my favorite songs. So I was dancing away, and I think you had to turn off my mic, and we had to restart. It's all good. It's all good. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me on, Cassie.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about, just before the show started, we were talking a little bit about your vision for really, I guess it's your vision for the world, which is so awesome. So why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about your story, tell us a little bit about your vision, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I really, really appreciate you inviting me. And there's nothing I love more than talking about my vision and then my 3-level mission that helps us get to that vision. So my vision for the world is a world where we're all living aligned with our higher self, our higher power, our higher purpose, authentic. We're not living with the ego mask, pretending everything's okay, and you're all that in a bag of chips, just pretending, right? We want to be real, so authentic, right? So aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. This is the part that really, really matters, because as a little girl, I'll tell you about my story after, I was told I couldn't be an artist, and I had to live out of alignment for 27 years in 2 different careers that nearly killed me in order to get aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. So I was able to do it. It just took a long time, but it had to happen that way because I was meant to show people that it's never too late. If something is in you, it's in you for a reason, and it needs to come out of you to serve the world. And when you serve the world with it, you are happier, you are healthier, your relationships are better, and miracles happen. And that's why I call myself a miracle mindset coach healer, because I help people with this system that came through me at rock bottom that has now become a world movement. So that whole piece about being fully self-expressed is important, because I became a professional jazz singer at the age of 51. I work and record on world-class jazz stages with award-winning artists. I have sung for Oprah Winfrey's man. If you Google his name and my name, you will see me singing to him. And it's pretty insane that the miracles that have happened as a result, even though I've only been a jazz singer professionally for 7 years, for 9 years now. So my take-home message is that even if you haven't done it that long, even if you don't have the education some people have, if it's your thing to do, you will shine. You will leapfrog over others that are maybe doing the same thing, because it's your thing, baby, and no one can take it away from you. So that's what being fully self-expressed is to me. So I believe that if we had a world full of people who were aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed, we could have heaven on earth. This is the way I want to help to create heaven on earth. Everyone has a different version of how they want to see heaven on earth. This is mine. This is my personal one. So my mission. So does that make sense, Cassie?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I really love how you say that, because I do feel like we all go through this process in life where we kind of live and breathe by everybody else's kind of like expectations of what we should and do. And then once we find that thing that is ours, that is the way we're supposed to be,
chills. Yeah.
who we're supposed to be, then it's like everything just starts going. Like, it's like the connections that end up happening, you're like,
yes,
whoa,
it's miracles. It's miracles. Yeah. I mean, you can't describe it any other way. You say it's not just magic, and I say it is miracles. Magic and miracles when you get into alignment with who you truly are and what you were brought here to do. But you see, most of us go through life just wanting to look good. Our egos run the show. Our parents told us to be a certain thing. That's what we became, right? We look, to people on the outside to validate us. Okay, so yeah, it's good if I'm a doctor or a lawyer or, a CEO, because that is what society values, right? But it's like, is that who you truly are? Are you being fully self-expressed? And when you do really connect to that thing, and that's what I help people to connect with, like their
Mhm.
life takes off. And honest to God, I was able to do it, and I help others to do it. I help them go from their successful looking act one to their aligned and authentic act two. And that's when magic and miracles happen. So yeah, so the mission, my mission has three levels. I talked about the middle level just now, which is my one-on-one stuff with my coaching. But the bottom level is really exciting because the system that came through me, Cassie, when I hit rock bottom at the end of my corporate career, I had depression, anxiety, panic disorder, suicidal ideation. Thank God I had that, because I would have never left that inauthentic life as a pharmaceutical rep. If I had been happy and everything was fine, guess where I'd be working right now?
Right.
Pharmaceuticals, right? So I had to be so unhappy, and I had to have hit such a low that I could have never done that work again. So I am grateful for all the shit show that I lived through in order to get me to this side. So
Mhm.
basically, the when I hit the rock bottom, when I had my, as Elizabeth Gilbert calls it, from Eat, Pray, Love, the bathroom on the floor moment, like when she was on the bathroom floor and said, I can't do this anymore, what do I got to do? Like, that's a moment of total surrender. And Eckhart Tolle talks about it as well in his story of, he was sitting on a park bench and he realized he hated himself and he didn't want to live anymore. And then he realized the voice that was observing him was actually his true voice, his soul. And the
Oh, wow.
person that was struggling, that was his ego. So it was beautiful how he was able to separate from his ego in that way. So I think all of us that have had transformational things happen to us, we have a story. So my story is one of having lived out of alignment, people pleasing my parents, becoming not one, but two, very well, respected healthcare people. I was first a lab technologist, worked at Princess Margaret Hospital in cancer research. Then I became a pharmaceutical rep. I became an award-winning pharmaceutical rep in big pharma in two different companies for 20 years. But the thing is, I had to go through that. And then at my final 2 years of corporate, I got bullied. I got bullied corporately. I attracted another bully socially because I had a kick me sign on my back. So that's what happens when you're bullied. You have a kick me sign on your back. And so I lived in a dark place for 2 years with depression, anxiety, and panic. And at my rock bottom, my bathroom floor moment, I said to my higher power, give me a way out of this hell. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. So, quick flashback, my dad lived out of alignment too. He got bullied at work in his 50s, Cassie. He had a nervous breakdown. He didn't know how to deal, so he had to go on meds for the rest of his life. So I swore my story was not going to end like that. And I was also a drug rep. I knew what drugs did to our body. I didn't want to be dependent on drugs. No disrespect to anyone that takes drugs for their mental health.
Absolutely.
And when I was a new mommy, I had mommy issues and I had to go to therapy for 2 years to get over my mommy issues. So I knew that therapy works. It just took a long time for me. So I wanted something that was fast, that was natural, not drugs, not therapy. So when I hit rock bottom, I literally said, give me a way out that's not drugs, that's not therapy, or give
Mhm.
me a way of killing myself. And
Oh,
guess what? Clearly, I'm still here. I
right.
wasn't meant to die. I was just meant to go through that transformation, because the system that came through me, Cassie, I didn't make it up. I literally just channeled it because I'm not that smart. And it literally turned my life around like that. My mental health went straight up, never gone back to the darkness ever again. My marriage used to be hell on wheels, nearly split my marriage 3 different times when I lived out of alignment from ego and needed outer validation like I needed oxygen. So that's not good for a marriage. So my marriage that was hell on wheels became heaven on earth. And my childhood dream, which I'd like to share after this is my story, of becoming a jazz singer, came true at the age of 51. So it's like, these are things that this system helped me. And I was told, Elvira, it's not just for you. It's for you to share with the world. And I'm like, okay, cool. How does that happen? Right. Well, when COVID hit, two amazing women came forward. Shout out to them, Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins. They came together and they said, Elvira, this system that you have, because I created an online course to explain it. This
Mhm.
system that you have is great, but we want to share it with the world. We want to create a 6-month program that people feel seen, safe, celebrated, and supported, and they can do their inner work of healing and evolving to become everything they were born to be, to live aligned, authentic, and fully self expressed. And that's what we've been doing. And every single person that's graduated from this program at this point virtually is wants to facilitate this work as well, because they've seen what it's done for them, they've seen what it's done for their colleagues, and they want to also use it as a side income to help others as well, because they also have a story, message, and magic to share with the world. You see, my people are people that have been to the dark, and they want to live in the light, and they actually have a story of transformation that they want to share with others. And it's like, to give them a platform where they get to do that. It's like a turnkey operation. Eleanor and Jennifer, they're making good money using my system to help others to do this inner work. So that is the mission at this level. And then the second level is my one-on-one coaching, my speaking. So I have a really amazing high-end men's coaching program called the Renaissance Man Unleashed. Why be one thing when you can be all things? And it's a really high-level program because it's for men who are the doctors, the lawyers, the CEOs. They're the ones that are showing up the way they feel the world wants them to look and the way their parents wanted them to look. But there's something artistic in them that hasn't come through. And they virtually get me on demand to break out of whatever it is that's stopping them from putting that thing out into the world. Is it a book? Is it a screenplay? Is it an album? My father, he could sing like Pavarotti, but never did anything with his voice. Cassie, he died with his real music still in him 10 years ago. He died with cancer, with mental health struggles, with a marriage in shambles. My first love was an incredible musician. He could play every instrument by ear, never read a note of music, but he went on to become a lab technician, and he opened up his own dental lab. His business fed 20 families because that's how successful he was. But he was a world-class musician who never recorded his own music. He actually played in a little band called the Cranberries, if you remember, a beautiful band out of Ireland. My first love traveled around the world and played with this band because he was such an amazing musician. But Cassie, he never recorded his own music. When COVID hit, he died with cancer, with mental health struggles, with a marriage in shambles. What does that tell you? It tells you that if we don't get out of our own effing way, fear and ego, we might die with our real music still in us. And I want to help as many people as possible to not die with their real music still in us. I want them to get aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. So I have a women's program, I have a men's program to do that. And I also do my own jazz singing, sound healing. That actually, believe it or not, helps people heal from the stage. My inspired songs that come through me. And I'm also a jewelry designer. So there's a little sample of my jewelry. I create these beautiful spiritual pieces. I bless them with sound healing, and people feel so good when they wear my designs. And it's such a joy to do all this stuff because I don't work a day in my life doing all this stuff. It's what I'm meant to do. And then at the highest level, it's really exciting. My husband and I, who nearly split 3 different times, were meant to stay together. Why? Because he builds hotels, he runs them. Hospitality is his background. And about 9 years ago, on the morning of a dear friend's funeral, I received the vision that he and I are to co-create a series of 11 global retreat centers to serve the top 1% of humanity, to help them do their inner work of healing and evolving so that they can live as their higher self, not their ego self, which is what we're used to seeing them as. And when we help these top level people to live as their authentic selves, they will actually link arms with us and help to resolve world issues, things that need to be shifted on the planet. And so those are the 3 layers of my mission to help create this vision of the world that's aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed. Does that resonate with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So on your journey, is there one story that has really just like stood out to you and had like just a profound impact just in your working with your clients and helping them grow into their second self, I guess?
Yeah, authentic act 2, I call it. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So my story that I use as an example of, I called it the makings of a crap magnet, and it starts when I was 11 years old. Can I share that story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I call that makings of a crap magnet because essentially I was always an artist. I came out of the womb singing and dancing, apparently. And when I was 11 years old, I was sitting in this jazz show. My father was working in the restaurant downstairs. Kids were not supposed to be at this show, but I was there for some reason. My dad was either babysitting me or I insisted on going because I love singing and dancing. But I was this fat little Italian kid sitting in the audience because we came from Italy to Canada when I was 5, and I was a skinny little kid, but because my parents weren't happy and I was such a heart-centered, artistic, sensitive child, I ate my emotions and I ballooned into this fat little 11-year-old. I'm sitting there in the audience. I'm the only kid in the audience, and I'm in love with these women on the stage. They're singing and dancing and acting, and their hair is beautiful, and their makeup and clothes, and everything is gorgeous. And afterwards, like, I've got stars in my eyes, and my daddy goes, "Would you like to meet the women backstage?" And I said, "I get to meet them?" And I felt like I was meeting the queens of the world, Cassie. So my dad brings me backstage, and I meet these women, and they look at me and they're like, "Joe, this is your daughter? Oh, she's so beautiful." And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful? I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful for calling me beautiful. And honestly, Cassie, I felt seen for the first time in my life. I felt like these women got me. I was one of them, just a few years behind. So I walked away from them with stars in my eyes. And I said to my daddy, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." And guess what my dad says, Cassie? Based on
No.
his story, yeah, based on
Yeah.
his story,
Yeah.
he was told that good men are not on stages singing. Good men are good husbands and fathers and providers, and they are not on stages. My grandparents were very strict puritanical people. My
Mhm.
father wasn't allowed to be fully self-expressed.
Right.
That's why he died with cancer, mental health struggles, a marriage in shambles. My aunt, his sister, she was on world-class opera stages, Cassie, but when she got married, she had to hang up her opera gown, put on an apron, and was told to never step foot on another opera stage ever again. So both she and my father died not fully self-expressed. It breaks my heart. This is why I do what I do. So what happened was when I said to my daddy, "Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up." Here's what my dad said: "Elvira, you can't be one of them because those women are sluts." And that was it. I wasn't allowed to be me. And little 11-year-old me said to myself, "Okay, daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me?" And that is when the people pleasing started. That is when imposter hood started. That is when living out of alignment started. That is when I chose not one, but 2 healthcare careers so that I would look successful to my parents and the world, because it was all about them coming to Canada and giving us a better life. So they wanted us to shine, my brother and I. And yeah, we were very successful by worldly standards, but we were always artists too. My brother too is a musician. So he became very successful in worldly terms, and now he's also a musician as well. So it's like, my father wasn't allowed to be that. And so you saw him struggling all the time. He was singing at family parties and no one took him seriously. And he would play piano, but he played really badly because he didn't have lessons, and he didn't play by like he did play by ear, but it wasn't that good. But anyway, the point is that he wasn't allowed to be who he wanted to be. So he just became the man that made money and took care of his family. So I hope that someone hears this that is struggling because they know there's something more in them artistically that needs to come out. And when it does come out, trust me, you will be happier, you will be healthier, your relationships will get better, especially if you're someone that's a really big deal. Because if you're a doctor and lawyer and CEO, chances are you got a pretty strong ego mask on that's fooling the world and everyone thinks you got it all together. But on the inside, there's more. And I want to work with you. So those are the people I want to speak to today. I've been called to share that, especially those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is such a, I think it's just such an interesting story where it's like, but you can also see where the people who choose to live in alignment, where I feel like those people can naturally flow through
Yeah.
certain situations,
Yeah.
whereas the
Yeah.
people who aren't just end up like, it's like the stress just kind of compounds,
Yes.
and
Struggle after struggle, right?
yeah,
They're what I call crap magnets. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, it becomes their story. It
Yeah.
becomes and then their story becomes who they are, and that and what I love about what you're doing is you're giving people the opportunity to say, hey, this is not just like, this may have been your story.
Yeah.
And may have been who you are.
Yeah.
But we can write a new one.
Yeah.
And I think that there are some people that get so stuck in that world where they're so attached to their story because they don't know what it is, what they look like, or who they are without their story.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're able to work with people and kind of write that new story with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. That's what our program does. The 6-month program is all about helping people write their new story. Oh my God. I got chills as you said that. Yeah. It's amazing when we truly look at ourselves and realize that our struggles happened for a reason because we were living out of alignment. And then when we get into alignment, miracles start finding us. Like me, singing for Oprah Winfrey's Man, that was a miracle, but it was something that found me. I didn't go looking for it. And so this is what I talk about. When you get into alignment, you become a miracle magnet, right? Amazing things find you. I got invited to sing at the mayor of my city's 60th birthday party right before COVID hit. She could have asked anybody in my city to perform. There's tons of amazing Mississauga musicians in my city, just outside Toronto. But she asked me. Why do you think she asked me? Alignment. She picked up alignment, and my partner as well. So I have an amazing partner, my second jazz duo. He and I performed for this amazing party. It was the mayor's private 60th birthday party. It was a big deal, and so I just say it. I don't say it to brag. I say it because when you, as an artist, especially, get into alignment and own your art at the highest level of service, it's not about you and your ego. You have a different vibration than everybody else. And I do believe that that's what she picked up. And that's why she invited us. Because people that are in alignment are very magnetic. They're very attractive. They get opportunities their way. I mean, seriously, and I'm not bragging because it's not just me that's doing this. I've taught tons of people how to do this, and they're magnetic too. And miracles find them, like, hey, I want you on my album. Hey, I want to, like right now I'm recording a sacred sound album, a vinyl album with this amazing world-class sound engineer. Like, it's crazy. Like, he found me by a miracle. And he's also creating our podcast. Eleanor and I have a podcast, the Love Your Vibe podcast. It's a revolution of evolution. And he's our producer. You should listen to this thing. It's incredible sound. It's because this guy's doing it. And oh my God, like honestly, I'm just sharing a few miracles that are at the top of my head right now. But that's what happens. You, Cassie, when you got into alignment, all these amazing things, I'm sure, started finding you. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you bring up the podcast, because the other podcast that I do with my friend Tracy, it was one of those things where I just kind of went, hey, you wanna come play with me on this thing? And we're going into in January, it hit our year mark for the show. And one of the guests we've just recently had on, she's been a mentor to myself, and she's also been a mentor to my co-host Tracy. And she doesn't come on everyone's podcast.
Oh, nice.
She's very selective about who she aligns with and things like that. And she was our guest for our last show, which was just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So super awesome. And so, it's just like, it's just one of those things where you're like, wow, okay.
It found you. Yeah. And that's it. Like, Cassie, when I met you in Tyson's group, shout out to Tyson, because that's how we connected, the Serving Circle. Join that on Facebook if you can. It's an amazing group of entrepreneurs that are heart centered, heart based, as he calls it. And I met you there, and your vibration was so high. I said, I need to meet her. Like, that's who you are, right? So, and I think you said the same thing about me, right? And that's why we're chatting right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because people in alignment vibrate differently. Alignment is a high vibration, and I want the world to live there, because imagine us if we were all doing what we were meant to be doing. Would we be struggling as we are right now on the planet? I don't think so. There's too many people living out of alignment that are crap magnets and that attract more and more crap to them. If we can help them shift to miracle magnets where they are aligned with their higher self, their higher power, their higher purpose, and they're just being fully self-expressed, honestly, and this might be a stretch for most people, I don't believe we'd have wars on this planet, because people would be so happy being who they are, doing what they're meant to be doing. I don't think they'd be leading from ego and trying to take over other countries. You know what I mean? I think they would be way happier and they wouldn't try to take power away from others. So I could go on and on about that, but I'm just going to drop that right there. I really believe we could have peace on earth and heaven on earth if people lived aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed.
100%.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have just a few minutes left. Is there any last like words you would like to leave with our guests?
You know what? If people want to connect with me, if they want to learn more about this, I invite you to check out the Love Your Vibe Transformation Facebook page. If I don't know if you're able to put the link at all, Cassie, or I'm on Instagram as well at the Love Your Vibe Transformation. I also have a personal account at EV Hopper, so feel free to follow me there, message me there, add me on Facebook. I took off a whole bunch of friends, so-called friends. So add me on if you resonate. You know, I love to bring on some new friends. And yeah, let's just stay connected, because if there's something in this work for you, if you might even want to be a facilitator of this work, if you believe your story, message, and magic is here to help humanity, I can give you a vehicle that helps you do that without having to struggle figuring out on your own, reinventing the wheel. I can give you a virtually a turnkey operation where you can do that work and serve at a bigger level, because I believe when we all bring our candles together as light workers, we have a big giant flame and more people will find us. And there's abundance on the planet. There's enough for everyone. So yeah, someone basically said recently, Elvira, you're like a modern day Louise Hay. And I'm like, wow, that's a compliment, because she was one of the most, important, sorry, I just need to get rid of this. Yeah, so she was one of the most important people in personal growth, and I believe that I'm doing the same thing. She shone a light on the light workers so that they could illuminate the planet, and I am doing the same thing. I'm shining a light on these beautiful light workers so that they can serve with their story, message, and magic and create an extra income, because I don't want to see light workers work in day jobs. So I want to give them an opportunity to create extra money so that they can do all the beautiful things they're here to do, such as help humanity, such as, heal, as healers, as artists. I want to give them a way of creating extra income so they can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. Absolutely. Because I agree. I feel like there definitely should light workers should be able to go do what they're supposed to do, which is bring light to the world. So
yeah. Duh. If you've gone through something, yeah. Yeah, because if you've gone through something, you have a PhD in your transformation, right? You didn't go through it for no reason. I would go through every moment of hell, being bullied corporately, attracting another bully socially. That's what was meant to happen, because I was meant to evolve out of that, to heal, to evolve, and now I get to help others. And I'd go through every moment of pain over again, because now I have a torch and I get to say, follow me. I know the way. In fact, I have a shortcut. And we all can. If we survive something, we can help others get there too, because our stories carry wisdom. And wisdom is what the world needs. They don't need more information, but they need transformation, which is delivered through people's stories and the wisdom that comes out of that. Do you resonate?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Cassie. This has been great. I love chatting with you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for the show. And yeah, if you all want to connect with Elvira, please reach out and to learn more and to follow. And I'm so blessed that you came to join me on my show. And
I'm blessed.
We will see you all next time.
All right. Take care. Bye.